Caution. The news you are about to view is exciting, informative, and generally factual. Our upcoming narratives tackle real-world events, politics, culture, and social affairs, served with a generous side of satire. Expect sharp wit and exaggerated irony that are ridiculously and undeniably accurate.
Good evening, and welcome to the Daily Distortion. I'm Dalai Lama. This is the very time where facts take a coffee break and common sense calls in sick. I'm your host, armed with sarcasm and a questionable Wi-Fi connection, here to guide you through today's chaos, calamity, and cats doing politics. Buckle up, folks. It's the only show where the news is real-ish, and your confusion is entirely complimentary. Let's dive into the madness together. Would you like to hear more?
Love to. Good evening, Earthlings. I'm Monica Boulevard. Welcome to The World's on Fire, but we've got popcorn. Your go-to source for deciphering global chaos with a chuckle. From diplomatic dance-offs to economic elbow drops, we cover it all. Because who needs sanity when you have 24-hour news and a front-row seat to history's most dramatic reality show? Stay tuned, or run. You've heard the phrase, "Don't hate me because I'm beautiful." Of course. Here's a carefully assessed list of 21 people who are hated because they are beautiful. Some real, some fictional, and some completely absurd. 1. Narcissus, the original influencer, fell in love with his own reflection. Probably unfollowed himself for being too much. 2. Prince Charming, every fairy tale ever. Collectively hated for having zero personality but somehow always getting the girl. 3. Dorian Gray, handsome, rich, and literally immortal. Still manages to have haters. 4. The evil queen, Snow White. Just wanted to be the hottest in the kingdom, but knew some teenager had to ruin it. 5. That one Instagram model in your feed. She only drinks green juice and wakes up like this. Hated for making us all feel deeply inadequate. 6. Every vampire in Twilight. Sparkly, brooding, and apparently allergic to shirts. 7. Zoolander, too ridiculously good-looking to be taken seriously. Blue steel is a weapon of mass attraction. 8. Helen of Troy, launched 1,000 ships and ruined a civilization. But sure, tell me more about how your ex was kinda toxic. 9. Barbie, unfairly blamed for setting impossible beauty standards while just trying to live her plastic fantastic life. 10. Every Disney prince who has never had a job. Looking good is their only marketable skill, yet they still end up ruling kingdoms. 11. Fabio, his hair has more volume than your future. 12. Medusa, before the snake hair. So beautiful that the gods literally turned her into a snake lady just to calm everyone down. 13. Legolas, Lord of the Rings. Nobody trusts a guy who runs in slow motion without breaking a sweat. 14. Ken, just Ken, Barbie's Ken. So handsome but so irrelevant that his job title is just Ken. 15. Every villain who's weirdly hot. Loki, Maleficent, Scar the Lion. Evil is sexy, and it's making people uncomfortable. 16. The Greek gods. Petty, dramatic, constantly ruining people's lives, but stunning. 19. The Little Mermaid, before losing her voice. Had men falling in love without even speaking. Unrealistic and infuriating. 20. Chad from high school. Every Chad. You know him. You hate him. You still check his Instagram. 21. Whoever your crush is dating right now, objectively the worst person alive. Haters gonna hate, but at least these people look flawless while being despised. For more news obvious interest, let's turn our attention over to Dolly.
We were chatting about what we heard our parents used to do for lunch break compared with what we do today. The humble work lunch. Once a sacred midday ritual, now a high-stakes social performance with a side of kale. 30 years ago, the average office worker marched into the break room proudly wielding a brown paper bag packed with a ham sandwich, a bruised apple, and the same bag of pretzels 5 days in a row. Lunch was predictable, beige, and only mildly disappointing. Fast forward to today, and behold the modern lunchtime circus. You've got Karen in sales ordering sushi via drone, Dave from IT doing intermittent fasting and licking almonds, and Kyle, the keto evangelist, who now breathes bacon grease through a diffuser. No one eats at the same time, in the same place, or even chews the same number of times. Meanwhile, the communal microwave is a battleground where passive-aggressive sticky notes flourish like mold in a Tupperware no one will claim. Someone's lunch is a $19 green smoothie with ingredients that sound like a spell: spirulina, maca root, and ghost tears. Lunch isn't about nourishment anymore. It's performance art, dietary philosophy, and quiet judgment. One thing's for sure: your food says more about your brand than your resume ever will. Bon appetit, brave corporate warriors. Well, so much about one of the primary events of the day that confuse us. We now turn some time for clarity with Lucia.
Thank you for that moving introduction. Hello, I am the aforementioned Lucia. My predictions may have an underlining cynical tone, but I would like to look for the possibility of the positive. Here we go. Population dynamics are shifting globally, with some countries experiencing rapid declines while others see significant increases. These trends have profound implications for economies, societies, and geopolitical landscapes. Countries with rapid population decline. Several nations are witnessing notable population decreases due to factors like low birth rates, high immigration, and aging populations. Based on recent data, the top 6 countries experiencing the fastest population declines are: Bulgaria. This Eastern European nation faces a significant population decrease, primarily due to low birth rates and substantial emigration. Latvia. Similar to Bulgaria, Latvia is experiencing a notable decline, with young citizens emigrating for better opportunities abroad. Moldova. Economic challenges have led to high emigration rates, contributing to a shrinking population. Ukraine. Ongoing conflict and economic instability have accelerated population decline through both emigration and low birth rates. Croatia. Facing similar issues as its Eastern European neighbors, Croatia sees declining numbers due to emigration and low fertility rates. Japan. An aging population coupled with low birth rates has led to a steady decrease in population. Countries with rapid population growth. Conversely, certain countries are experiencing swift population increases, often driven by high fertility rates and improving healthcare systems. The top 6 countries with the fastest growing populations include: Niger boasts one of the highest fertility rates globally, leading to rapid population growth. Angola. High fertility rates and a young population contribute to its swift demographic expansion. Benin experiences significant growth due to elevated birth rates. World Population Review. Uganda. A youthful demographic and high fertility rates drive its rapid population increase. South Sudan. Despite conflicts, it sees population growth, partly due to returning refugees and high fertility rates. Chad. High birth rates and a predominantly young population lead to swift growth. Potential consequences of these trends. The implications of these demographic shifts are profound. Economic impact. Countries with declining populations may face labor shortages, reduced economic productivity, and increased pressure on social welfare systems due to a higher proportion of elderly citizens. Conversely, nations with rapidly growing populations might struggle with unemployment, underemployment, and the challenge of providing adequate education and healthcare services. Urbanization and infrastructure. Rapid population growth can lead to urban overcrowding, strain on infrastructure, and environmental degradation. Declining populations might result in underutilized infrastructure and challenges in maintaining public services. Geopolitical shifts. Population changes can alter geopolitical dynamics, influencing a country's global influence, military capabilities, and diplomatic relationships. Addressing these challenges requires comprehensive policies tailored to each country's unique demographic context, focusing on sustainable development, economic diversification, and social welfare optimization. I would like to add to my forecast on China the following. China is experiencing a significant population decline, a trend that has garnered attention from various analysts and AI models. According to projections, China's population may decrease from its peak of 1.41 billion in 2021 to approximately 1.36 billion by 2025, indicating a loss of over 50 million people within a decade. This decline is attributed to factors such as low fertility rates, an aging population, and economic challenges. The fertility rate in China has fallen to 1.0 births per woman, significantly below the replacement rate of 2.1. Additionally, the working-age population, 15 to 64 years, is projected to contract by 25% over the next 25 years, posing challenges for economic growth and labor markets.
Hi, I'm Du. Now, a little bit about today's whirlwind of women's world sports. Headlines are hotter than a curling iron at a beauty pageant. The Women's World Cup teams are now running faster than the Wi-Fi at Starbucks, scoring goals and breaking hearts in equal measure. Somewhere, a men's team coach is furiously Googling how to not get beaten by women. Meanwhile, tennis queens are serving aces with the precision of a NASA launch, all while commentators still ask the age-old question, what's she wearing? Because obviously, it's hard to return a 120mm Piat serve if you're not color coordinated. And in basketball, the WNBA is dunking harder than your aunt at a church potluck. Yet the crowd still wonders why ticket prices aren't equal. Maybe because women can play and multitask. Name one NBA player who can shoot a three-pointer, remember 6 birthdays, and still find time to hydrate with cucumber water. From powerlifters to swimmers, gymnasts to golfers, women athletes are rewriting the rules and probably proofreading them too. So next time someone says women's sports are boring, just smile, hand them a highlight reel, and watch them eat their words, which, like everything else, women will probably do better too. Now, here's a bit about men's sports. Happy to have you join me as we talk about men's sports in 2025, where testosterone-fueled drama meets overpriced sneakers and referees with selective vision. If you've tuned into any major league lately, congratulations. You've survived a tornado of egos, endorsements, and enough sports-related TikToks to make Socrates question free will. Let's begin with the glorious chaos that is football. The NFL is still redefining touchdown celebrations with routines more choreographed than a Beyoncé concert. Last week, a wide receiver proposed to the goalpost after a 40-yard run. The goalpost, for the record, said no. Meanwhile, team owners continue their relentless pursuit of charging $50 for a hot dog while paying kickers who only work 12 minutes a game more than most surgeons. Over in the world of soccer, or as the rest of the world correctly calls it, football players are perfecting the art of dramatic collapses. Is it a tackle or an audition for a soap opera? No one knows. But FIFA swears it's authentic. The VAR, video assistant referee, has become a modern oracle, determining the fate of matches using camera angles, divine intuition, and a suspicious coin flip. Basketball, naturally, is a non-stop adrenaline rush. Between timeouts, replay reviews, and Gatorade ad breaks. In 2025, players are dunking from the three-point line, wearing shoes embedded with AI that yells Kobe every time they shoot. Also, don't forget the fashion game, because nothing screams athletic dominance like entering the arena dressed like a futuristic peacock in silk. Baseball? America's pastime. Games now average 17 hours, 12 commercials, and 3 existential crises per inning. MLB introduced robotic umpires this season, which still somehow managed to be wrong, but at least they don't yell at players in questionable Brooklyn accents. Tennis and golf. the gentleman sports, are currently experiencing existential identity crises. Novak Djokovic is trying to retire for the 12th time, while golfers now swing with clubs made of carbon fiber, GPS, and tiers of tradition. One pro golfer recently blamed a missed putt on emotional wind. So, what's the takeaway? Men's sports are alive, well, and fabulously absurd. It's a beautiful ballet of brilliance, bloopers, and billion-dollar branding all wrapped in a jersey and sprinkled with glittering nonsense. And we, the fans, wouldn't have it any other way. Play ball, or flop dramatically trying. Thank you, fans. This is Dew Drift signing off.
My commentary tonight has to do with what so very many of us can't seem to not use our precious hours to think about. The environment, a collective concern we all pretend to care about in between ordering fast fashion and microwaving plastic-covered leftovers. Today's environmental angst is a rich tapestry of reusable water bottles, carbon footprints, and TikTok influencers telling us to save the planet by using bamboo toothbrushes while jetting to Bali twice a month. We've reached peak eco-anxiety. We separate our recycling with the fervor of ancient priests organizing sacred scrolls, only to discover it all gets dumped into the same landfill. We buy organic kale in plastic clamshells and call it progress. And nothing says sustainable like a 75,000-pound electric car battery assembled with minerals mined by the sadness of 10,000 unpaid interns in another hemisphere. Meanwhile, Mother Earth politely coughs under a smog blanket as we debate whether gas stoves are worse than volcanic eruptions. Politicians passionately give speeches on climate change while standing next to oil lobbyists and lighting cigars with melting glacier maps. To make my point, here's a recording of some concerned citizens on this topic.
An unwelcome sight in the neighborhood, a developer is being greedy. There's a hole in the sky where a tree once stood. Such a lack of life and sound. All that's left is bare, muddy ground. A magnificent tree was murdered. The mighty dollar cut it down. There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money. Stand up. There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money. Laws protect exceptional trees, but the city grants exemptions to these. Instead, they reward the developer's greed and sanction the murderer's deeds. There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money.
Have you ever witnessed so much glee when also expressing a concern of our world? I bet not, but still, we're doing our part, cutting back on straws, because clearly, it's the straws that are the problem. Not the billion-pound oil spills or the forests sacrificed for artisanal Instagram packaging. But hey, we posted a green infographic last Earth Day. That should fix it, right? Now excuse us while we Uber to a climate protest. Thanks for listening to me tonight. This is Chloe Clam Chowder signing off. Besides, I need to take my 1967 Ford Galaxy in for an emissions test. Please join with us next time.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We are glad you are with us. Stay updated on our latest content. Thanks for your support.